Hey bitches, welcome back to my channel. I'm sitting here once again with the love of my life. How are you doing?
I'm doing exceptionally well. I think this is like the fourth time we've sat down to try to film this, but we're going to get through it this time.
We're going to get through it this time. I am here once again with my notebook. So the first person that I want to talk about is Gypsy Rose Blanchard because she is apparently having a really bad weekend right now. It is her birthday and all of these crime scene photos were released online. They were leaked. Some people are saying that these have been out for a while, so they're surprised that people are so shocked by seeing them again. I have never seen them. I have not looked up. But people were giving me a description of what was going on in these photos. Disgusting.
Yeah.
Something that I noticed though is that there's a lot of people on social media now, so many people that were writing for Gypsy Rose like hardcore. By the way, she's actually deleted all the videos except for like 3 off of her TikTok after this happened. Well, a lot of people are saying that this is like the final straw for them with Gypsy Rose and they're seeing her in a completely different light. Like what were they expecting to see in these photos?
I don't understand. Like you know that this woman was like part of this heinous murder. She murdered her mother. Like, did you expect the murder to be pretty? Did you think?
She does not identify as a murderer. Let's not forget, Gypsy doesn't.
Let's consult the pictures. Let's ask people what they think. I think people would say that Gypsy Rose is a murderer.
From the description that I was given on Twitter, like, I do not want to see these photos. I personally do not understand how many influencers and just people in general are like sucking up to Gypsy Rose and are just so starstruck and thinks that she's this amazing person. What happened to Gypsy Rose in her life was fucked up and horrible. Her mom was a piece of shit. The extreme, like the passion that was done in the killing, it's just crazy to me how people can be like, oh my god, yes, queen. Girl, it just takes a snap.
You know, I was kind of like really rooting for Gypsy when she got out of prison because I thought maybe she'll get out, maybe she'll live a normal life, or maybe she'll try to help people. She just wants to be famous. She wants to be pregnant. I mean, she's going to get another show. I'm sure she's going to have like a show where she's like mothering her child. It's going to be very weird and awkward to watch. It's not going to be good for her. It's weird.
You know that there's allegations against like Ken. I think Ken is the new guy that she's with, apparently the baby daddy. He is apparently a little bit gay is what they're saying, and he's been exposed for like being on Grindr.
I'm going to be 100% honest.
If she finds out about that girl,
I did not even know. They were mocking him on TikTok, right? And I didn't even know who he was or that he was like affiliated with Gypsy at all. And I just seen this live stream where he was talking about something. And I was like, this man is so gay. And then when I found out that that was the Ken that Gypsy was with, I was like,
you're like, girl, that's a lady.
That is,
that's a lady. That's
like
a gal.
lady.
Honestly, whenever I see them in video clips together, I really don't think they like each other that much.
It's weird.
Well, no, I think that she likes him. I don't think that he's like as into her. Moving on from that, the next thing that I want to talk about is an update from my video from yesterday where I was talking about the drama going on with KimChi Beauty, where they literally gave used products to an influencer so she could create all of these videos.
Well over 400 of you guys have requested for me to share my experience as an influencer with Vanessa Myrick's Beauty and KimChi Chic. KimChi Chic got a bit more attention, so let's talk about it. And just as a quick disclaimer, I don't have any like serious ill will towards this brand. I'm not saying you should or shouldn't support them. This is just my experience working with them behind the scenes. So earlier this year, a woman from KimChi Chic emailed me and asked me to make some content, and I gave her my rates and she accepted. Now, I'm the kind of person where if I am wrong or I make a mistake, I will admit it. And looking back on this situation, I definitely should have had her sent me the contract immediately. That was for sure on me. I thought I was being nice and not, you know, having to delay her further because she was acting like she was in a huge rush to get these videos done. And you know, I want to be that influencer, I hate using that word, but I want to be that influencer that really can go above and beyond when I can to have healthy and awesome relationships with brands. But yeah, like I said, she for some reason was in a huge rush to get these videos done, so much so that she insisted on not shipping me the products to make the content with, and she was like, can you just come pick them up? And I was like, sure, I have a gig in LA, like a day or two from now, I can pick it up afterwards, and so that's what I did. So after I drive over there to pick up the products, she then sends me the contract, and I'm already concerned. I quickly skimmed through this contract and I'm really confused because the terms that are in here are nothing what I expected based off of the conversation I had with this lady through text or email. But not only were the terms like not at all what I was expecting, is that even in the first paragraph of the contract, there was a huge typo as to the terms we agreed with over email. So I was like, what's going on here? Since the terms in the first paragraph weren't even correct as to what we agreed with, now I'm getting really uneasy about signing anything from this company at this point. And all of the contract and like miscommunication aside, there was something really disgusting that happened. The products that this lady gave me were used. And as a professional makeup artist and licensed esthetician, I cannot emphasize enough to you how disgusting that is. Not to mention the liability aspect, like if you're using and sharing makeup, like herpes 1 can be transferred from person to person. Just so you guys know. And things like pink eye, styes, etc. That's why it's so important to hire a makeup artist who is sanitary. So a few of the lipsticks they sent me at the very least were swatched on someone's hands. They definitely were not brand new, as well as one of the palettes was very obviously used at least once at some point. So she takes a week to send me the updated contract, but when she does, I point out, I'm like, hey, these are not the terms that I was expecting after talking to you through email and text. If this is the case, I'm gonna have to increase my rates. And she said, well, that's not doable for us. And for whatever reason, at this point, I'm still giving her the benefit of the doubt as far as the used products go, because I'm like, maybe she grabbed it from the wrong pile, like mistakes happen, whatever. But once she realized that I was no longer down for this agreement, she said that she needed the products back ASAP to, and I quote, give them to another influencer. So when she realizes I'm no longer down for this agreement, she's like, I need those products back ASAP. And I'm like, well, unfortunately, I'm not going to be anywhere near LA for work this week. So, I'm happy to ship them to you. Like, I'll even pay the shipping. And she was like, no, I need them back like ASAP. And I'm like, okay. And I could tell she was starting to get a little bit of an attitude with me, and she was kind of like hounding me on getting these products back to her ASAP. So I decided to be the bigger person, and I put 60 miles on my car and spent 2.5 hours in LA traffic just to get these products back to her on my day off. And once again, nothing against you if you like their products or like them as a brand, like to each their own. I just did not have a great experience with them personally.
So not only did they give her used products, so it would be twice used products that they wanted her to return back.
They wanted to give her the used products. She was not going to do the videos anymore, so they wanted the returned used products to gift to another influencer. I am just still so curious how many times this has happened, because KimChi Beauty actually responded to her and said that the lady that was involved in all of this, that has caused all this drama, is no longer associated with the company. I want to know how many other influencers were receiving this used ass makeup and they were just like okay with that, because there's probably a lot of smaller influencers out there that are just so excited to get attention from the brand that when they reach out to them, they're like, oh my god, yes, it's fine, okay, whatever. Or maybe they just get it and it's used and they just don't say anything about it because they don't want to ruffle any feathers. I could see that.
Well, that video got some attention. So first of all, I'm in between gigs. I want to address a lot of the comments that I saw in that video, the part 1. I 100% recognize I had no obligation to drive back to this woman to drop off these used makeup products. But I also realized that this lady was giving me such attitude about this whole situation, and I knew that once I dropped off these products, I never had to talk to her again. So I kind of just did it for my self-peace. So yeah, I more so just did it for my self-preservation and self-peace, because I was like, you know what, me having these products is the only thing keeping this woman in contact with me, so I just need to bite the bullet and just give them back. And KimChi Chic, as you can see, saw the video because you guys were tagging them, and they have DM'd me, as well as I've noticed responded to a few of you guys who commented in the comment section saying your bad personal experiences ordering from the brand and also getting used makeup. You're doing everything right as far as words go. My main concern is I just want their actions to also be going in the right direction. So I more so just hope that you guys get your orders and your refunds or whatever resolved more than anything else, to be honest. So hopefully they follow through that. As far as the DM, they claimed that they are no longer associated with the person I'm talking about, which I don't know how they know who I'm talking about, but that's just what they said. And to the one comment who said that this is slander and that I, as a professional esthetician, know how to sanitize makeup, you're unfortunately not worth making a whole nother video for, so let me enlighten you for a second. As a journalism major, that is not slander, actually, nor is it defamation. Because I was literally stating nothing but facts. I had photo proof. I even have email proof if you really want to go there. And not to mention, for liability reasons alone, as I have stated, a brand should not be giving out used makeup. And not to mention, there was a good chance they didn't even know I was licensed to begin with. It doesn't matter who they're giving their product to. It should not be used. But yeah, please be nice to each other in the comments. I see a couple people kind of hashing it out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys. So please just be nice to each other, and like, it seems like this is getting resolved, so it's all good.
I'm glad that this lady brought attention to this, because that's absolutely disgusting KimChi Beauty, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
Can they not get fined for that? Is that not like some kind of like health violation or something?
I don't know.
There has to be like laws against that.
Probably because that's probably why they wanted the products back. They were like, we're not going to get in any trouble for this. They're not going to have any evidence against us. So thank God she took some photos. But because of this, other people have spoken out in her comment section and just told their stories about how they have had horrible customer service when it comes to KimChi Beauty, and they have ordered things have not shipped, things have got lost. They've told them, no, you're not getting your money back. So apparently KimChi Beauty has a few issues going on over there in the house.
Sounds like it, girl. It sounds like Morphe. Do you remember when Jaclyn Cosmetics was shipping out her products in Morphe boxes?
Yeah.
But Jaclyn Hill owned Jaclyn Cosmetics.
Do you remember when they were shipping out Jaclyn Cosmetics and somebody ordered one powder and they got a box of 12?
Yeah.
It was like
no tissue paper.
People's items were getting up left and right, or they were receiving a whole pallet worth of shit.
Ain't none of that happening with KimChi. You're just gonna get used makeup.
Okay, and since we're talking about Jaclyn Hill, do you know that all of her fans want her to go on the Just Trish podcast? Like, they're really pushing for it down in Trisha's comment section as well.
I didn't know that, and I would rather that not happen.
You think?
Honestly, yeah.
Well, Jaclyn has been going around like on podcasts and hanging out with all the beauty influencers over in LA, trying to rewrite history when she speaks out about things that have happened in her past.
Being such a good
Went
person.
on the Manny and Laura podcast. What is the name of their podcast?
The Full Coverage.
The Full Coverage podcast.
There were several different people who made videos about me during the lipsticks, and
baby, they come out of the woodworks.
They came out of the woodwork, and they got a lot of views and a lot of attention. And then they come back into my DMs, like in the last couple of years, like, oh, we should hang out. And I'm like, I will not forget what you did.
Ever.
I won't forget.
Ever.
Like that. Oh,
forgiven, never forgotten.
Yeah, it was hard. That was the hardest thing I've ever been through my entire life. Ever.
Yeah.
Through like the loss that I've been through and the deaths and everything, that my lipstick scandal was the hardest thing I've ever been through.
Can relate.
I appreciate people like you.
Can relate.
So
Can
much.
relate.
Can relate.
I know
Truly.
you can.
Millions of people go against you. Everybody in the world is against you, and that
Literally.
feeling is a feeling.
It's a crazy feeling. You can't feel it.
You know what it feels like to me is like when you're a little kid and you're sitting on your bed and your mom comes in, your dad comes in, and they're upset with you and they're reprimanding you, and you're just like, oh my God, and you feel like the world's biggest piece of shit.
Yep.
It feels like that, except you have like 6,000 people in your bedroom. Like just all
6,000? No.
reprimanding you.
Hundreds of
1
thousands.
million.
Hundreds of thousands.
1 million. An auditorium.
It feels genuinely like you are, Megan Fox was talking about it on the Call Her Daddy pod about how like when you see, if you were to see a woman getting beat up on the side of the road, your instant instinct would be run over and like help her. But instead online, the instant instinct is to just run over and join in. And that's how it feels. Like it just feels like the whole world is just beating you up. And in the moment, like you look back at how you handle all of these cancellations, if you will, and it's never how you would have liked to handle it, right?
In your sane mind.
In your sane
mind.
Right
Right here.
in that moment, you cannot think.
You're not well.
For me, I just always relied on everybody else. Like, tell me what to do. What do I do? Because it's like, it's just so hard. It's like, there's no lessons to learn in the moment.
They don't want to
because
understand.
at the end of the day, like, we're all good people, right? And that's something that I had to work through for so long to be able to look at myself in the mirror and be like, you are a good person.
Oh my God.
Because I lost myself to the media for such a long time that I didn't even know who I was. Like, who am I? I don't know. I don't know what I stand for. I don't know who I am at this point, right? So it's like, I finally can look in the mirror and be like, you are a good person, and anything that you're going to get canceled for is a mistake that you made because you're human.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
Like, I'm not going to get canceled for doing something genuinely f***ed up because I'm not a f***ed up person. Like, I'm a good person with good intentions, and I'm going to make mistakes. It's just my mistakes are going to be magnified.
Sure, Jan.
And speaking of Manny and Laura and their podcast, they did a whole episode where they were talking about Trisha Paytas, and we all know that Trisha has a past with Laura Lee. Now, she made a video back in the day that basically said, like, Laura Lee, go f yourself.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't remember it. I'm not really that familiar with it as well.
I remember. I'm going to be reacting to that on my channel today, like the actual video. But to sum up what happened with Laura and all them, remember the iPad and the party? What was it, Joey's party?
It was Colleen's party, I think, where they
Colleen's
had to
party?
do, like, the white elephant.
Yeah. She really pissed Trisha off
might have
with
been
that.
Joey. I don't
I
fucking know.
really hope that Trisha does not give them any, like, chance to come on her podcast or swap with them.
Well, on this podcast where they were talking about Trisha, they were talking about how Manny was over at, I think, Joey's house, and it was like 3 or 4 people there, and Trisha was sitting, and he was basically like straight up ignoring her.
Being
because
asshole.
he's obviously extremely loyal to Laura Lee, and obviously all this was going on. So he wanted to just be an asshole to her and make it just so known that he's Laura Lee's friend, and you're not going to treat my friend to that manner.
Literally nobody cares about you being friends with Laura Lee.
100%. I was cracking up because Oscar, she was talking about like, I was at this thing with Manny Mua, and he was really awkward and didn't talk to me. And I was like, yup. I literally was like, yeah, I didn't talk to you. And it's so funny because Oscar literally took the words like out of the situation. It was like, well, don't you think it's because you were like being rude to Laura and he just like rides for Laura so much as his bestie, so he's not gonna be all buddy with you? And she was like,
Right.
you right. And I literally was like this.
Yeah.
Because that's the truth.
Yeah.
I literally, when we were in this situation, I think I was at like Joey's house. And it was literally me, Joey, Daniel, Trisha. 4 people, right? Trisha's living right across from me, and I'm only talking to Joey and Daniel, and I'm being very purposefully like, like absolutely ignoring her because I wanted her to know what I thought she did was not cool.
Yeah.
But I wasn't going to entertain this like the idea of like a camaraderie.
Rude,
I was
also
going to be rude.
not going to jump in.
I mean, I guess I was being kind of rude, but I wasn't going to be super like happy-go-lucky friendly because of what had happened. That was like, I'm not gonna go above and beyond to even be nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be completely neutral and just not say anything.
Yeah.
And pretend she's just not there.
Right.
So that's what had happened, and the fact that Oscar had clocked that, I was like,
Oscar be clocking
sister,
that tea.
that was the tea. That was the
Oscar
fucking
clocks
tea.
the tea.
That was literally the truth. So and it was funny because they were Oscar was like, we should do there should be like a full Just Trish pod swap.
I would literally love. I
that'd be
would
sickening.
love to have a conversation with Trisha Paytas.
I would too. I really
We've never
would.
got to have a conversation with her before.
No,
I think she would
I've
love
never
us.
had a. I think
she
so
would
too.
love us.
I honestly think that Trisha would
Yes,
actually really like
do
us
too.
if she gave
I
us the
do.
chance and we gave her the chance
And
back.
we
like,
gave each other the chance.
if we gave
Like,
each other
I
the
do.
chance, I think that there's
genuinely
hope.
It's the fact that they had the audacity to sit there, Manny specifically, and say, I was an asshole to Trisha to her f***ing face, and then be like, oh, I think we would be great together. We would get along great. I think she'd love us. No, I think you're
Well,
stupid.
he also kind of like tried to dog on Oscar a little bit too.
Yeah.
on the podcast. Which
I
is a little
like
off-putting.
Oscar.
Now I do as well, but I do not think that Trisha should have them on the Just Trish podcast.
Hell no.
But do I think that she will have them on? Personally, I do think that she will because it'll get a shit ton of views. If you look at the podcast next to each other, Trisha's obviously doing a lot better. That's why I
Yeah.
kind of feel like maybe Manny and Laura want to kind of go on there for that
Girl,
moment.
Trisha Paytas is not in the business of doing charity work. Trisha
I hope
Paytas
not.
wants to get paid. She ain't
Yeah.
gonna want to collab with them because I think that would look bad. I really do feel like that would look bad. And why would she even want to collab with somebody that was, one, an asshole to her, and two, they were assholes to Oscar?
We also have to remember that Manny Mua, Laura Lee are very good friends with a bunch of predators.
Yeah.
So I think that would just not be a good look, Trisha.
It's really, truly wild as to me that Manny and Laura want to speak on Cody Ko and Tana when that is literally the same thing that James Charles was doing. Is it not? Like, was he not trying to high schoolers?
It's the fact that Tana confirmed that she was actually 16 years old instead of 17 years old, which is still disgusting. There are so many people that are trying to justify this whole Cody Ko situation and like stick up for him.
No.
It's the fact that he's still able to go over there and DJ knowing that he's been out there f***ing kids.
But Manny and Laura have a lot of nerve. Like, if you're gonna talk about Cody Ko, what is preventing you from talking about James Charles other than him being your friend? That just proves right there that you're protecting him.
Let's not forget that they did a video about Colleen Ballinger and literally defended her behavior basically,
and then
had to
deleted
delete
it.
So I
And
don't
never
expect
addressed
them,
it. Never addressed
Trisha,
it.
I just don't think that Trisha should have them on the podcast.
No.
So with all that said, everyone, that is it for this video. I hope that you did enjoy it. Please leave us a lipstick emoji down below
For Jaclyn
I don't
Hill?
know. Yeah, for Jaclyn Hill, I guess, like for old times.
Girl, she is gonna social climb the shit out of all those people out there. They're all gonna be
But you know what comes with hanging out with all those problematic people?
Drama.
Problems and drama. So I don't know. We will see you guys all in the next one. Bye.